hello. And what a great background.
I haven't seen you in a while. It's so good to see you. Well, I see you, but not live with you. Hello.
Cathy.
What's that?
So good to have you back on the show.
Thank you. Thank you for inviting me. Thank you so much. It's good to be here.
We're so thrilled. And gee, you're such a slouch. It's like you never get anything done, Cathy. You make the rest of us like, I'm like, man, how is she getting all that done? You inspire us. You inspire the rest of us as to what is possible. We always used to say, you know, everybody gets the same 24 hours and we all have the same 24 hours that Mother Teresa had. I'm going to start saying we all have the same 24 hours that Cathy Gott has, right? Because you're getting stuff done. But we invited you to talk about what's behind you, the village. And so let's start with
the perspective is a little off. I have to put the computer, but then I wouldn't be able to see anything. So.
It's okay. It's beautiful, and so are you.
It's really, really, really exciting. Thank you.
Well, what is it? What is the village?
It's not here yet. That is just a rendering, of course. But it will be an inclusive, independent apartment living, but it's so much more than that. But the intention is having a mix of residents on the spectrum, maybe other developmental differences that would be appropriate for the criterion, and then having lots of supports in and around the community that are customized to every individual. So as we all know, with federal regulations and moving into this wonderful person-centered space where it's not an institutionalized setting, it's not solely people with disabilities. Everything is all about embracing submersion, inclusion, acceptance. I mean, that for me is so beautiful. It warms my heart. And this project, The Village, is all about that. It's all about valuing every human being. Every human being deserves, and in this time with social justice being brought to the forefront, all the issues, there are so many inequities and systemic problems, and all we can do is do our best to exemplify what inclusion looks like, what love and acceptance looks like, and respect, mutual respect. So it's very exciting.
That is exciting.
Yeah, it's very exciting, Cathy. Tell us where it's located and also the type of opportunities this location will offer for those.
Great, thank you. Well, it's just south of Beverly Hills on Pico near Beverly Drive. And it is, the neat thing is that it's a mixed use. So the first floor is retail, and we can't say yet who's gonna be there, but we're working with people who embrace, everybody about this project has to embrace the intent behind it and what we're building. So it will provide right there vocational and employment opportunities for residents who choose that particular route. But it's in the center of a neighborhood, and lots of people out and about, and different, when there's no pandemic, of course, and shops, and it's about building within that community and beyond, where our residents will feel really embraced and welcomed and change that fabric of that community. So aside from that, there's teaching kitchen, and there's all opportunities to learn more independent skills. That's what this building is about. And then designed, of course, so that social situations will be encouraged, and you'll have to kind of walk past, let's say, a little nook with some other video game enthusiasts sitting around there, and then your apartment's over there, but you got to walk through there first. So a lot of encouragement. So we all about friendships and relationships and a community. So
This seems really unique. I think a lot of people have looked at the group living situation in lots of different ways, but this seems just really unique and uniquely suited to our population. I imagine that. How long have you guys been working on this?
Well, the idea was really born out of a group of people at ETA, and ETA is a large service provider for adults and have group homes and a variety of different supports out in the community and employment and a lot of wraparound support. So it's been, I think, 5 or 6 years really since it started in the dream phase, and hired a market research company and did focus groups. And then, you know, being that I get to travel with my husband all over the country, I always try my best in every place we go to go look at what's out there, as well as some other board, you know, a lot of people have a lot of input, and there are some great, wonderful pioneers like First Place in Arizona. The thing is, I think why we're not seeing them so much here in LA is that it's very expensive. You know, it's really expensive, which thanks to philanthropists and foundations in our community that are opening their hearts to this capital campaign, because we couldn't do it without that. We just couldn't do it. And our board is amazing. So as you're probably aware, when the person the company or entity that's managing the property isn't going to be the same people who are providing services to its residents. That's just a safe, obvious way to check and balance. So Cornerstone, of which I'm on the board, is a completely separate entity from ETA, and I don't serve on ETA's board. And then, so this is the first. We hope that once this is up and running, the very next thing we do is start another project and do this all over again, as much as we possibly can. So the need is, as you know, I mean, we're moms, and as we age, what is the home life going to look like for our children? And it's, it varies. And this might not be, the solution for everybody. And that's good, because, it's only 64 units. So we can't serve everybody. But it keeps us up at night, and knowing that this is this safe, nurturing, it's not lonely. It's, all those things we worry about. It's gonna get it covered. So it's very exciting.
How has the response from the community been to this in terms of people that are interested in living there?
We will not have trouble filling it. Thank you. It's been wonderful. And it just shows the need. And I do want to say that I am working with a variety of people in and out of regional center and are in California. And we're so lucky to have these entitlements, and I think we're all used to having services covered. So there will be different options for different situations with families as far as the rent goes, to offset some of those costs and things of that nature. So it's going to be just a range of affordability.
And since this is, your goal is for this to be a part of the community, it's important that the community right now be working and helping and being involved. What can we be doing to make sure that this comes to fruition?
Well, thank you. That's a great question. I hope you'll put up some contact information, because we do have an email address, and then I personally, along with some other people, but I look at all of them and respond every day. So of course, if you're in a position to give to our capital campaign, if we can't build the building, then there will be no village. So that's first and foremost. But as we move into later this year, early next year, we're going to be expanding into a lot of areas of committees. If you're interested in the programming aspect or a fundraising aspect, or being a potential resident, and so there's a newsletter. I mean, everything just started. Cornerstone didn't start until late last year. The board started meeting and was developed, and we found a piece of property, and then we bought it. And I mean, it's just, everything is so new and fresh. And, it's a 3-year construction from, breaking ground, which will be next year. And so it's a great time to get involved in the beginning and throughout. So that'd be wonderful.
So what is your proposed opening date?
2023, and it kind of depends on when we get our permits and everything through, but we're on like the expedited track, and everybody's been great, and getting everything into the city. And our board president, Cam Baboff, he doesn't have kids with disabilities at all. He's just a lovely man with a huge heart, donated a considerable 7 figures, and is overseeing this prize. He's a developer all over the world, built buildings. So I think we're in really good hands with his leadership, along with the other board members. So he knows what he's doing, and it's such an honor to serve on such an important project and meet such brilliant people. And it's been amazing. Very excited.
My breath always gets taken away when I hear about those kinds of people, these wonderful philanthropists that don't have a child on the spectrum, but have decided to put their heart, their time, and their money and invest it in our kids. It just humbles me. And I hope that when you next see this person, that you will tell them that we are sending love, and that they are a light on this planet that gives us all kinds of hope, because that's amazing.
Beautiful. I love that.
Nancy, aren't you the same way? Doesn't it just take your breath away when you hear that?
Absolutely.
Just absolutely. That's what we need more of in the world. And that's a light for everyone to see. So have you already then started a waiting list for people to live there, or what will that look like, Cathy?
Well, there's nothing official, but I would say that we're gathering information from families who are interested, and then talking to them more about their child's needs, or we're talking directly to the individual. So, every building that we will build will have a different flavor, a different goal. Just, this particular project, and a lot of, because of where it's situated, is designed for people who are working and out in the community and independent. It's not locked. I know, like, for example, a mom called me. She said, well, what happens if my son, leaves in the middle of the night? Well, that's his or her, they're free to go. This is not, there's security at the building, but very good 24/7. It'll be safe. But we're not in the business of managing and controlling the residents' lives. Everybody has to have choice, and that thrills us. So it's very empowering when you're an adult and you get to decide where you want to eat, what you want to eat, what time, who you want to spend time with, all of that. It's very important.
Autonomy. Yeah. Nancy, I want to take a second and go over some of the websites, because in our current format with Zoom, it's clunky when we put up a normally we would put up a lower third. It's a little clunky in our current format that we're doing with COVID. So I want to make sure people know, go to www.thecornerstonevillage.org. So thecornerstonevillage.org, or you can email them at info@thecornerstonevillage.org. They're also on Facebook under The Village by Cornerstone. So remember Cornerstone and Village, and you're going to be able to Google them, find them, email them, like them on Facebook, so that you can keep up on what's happening. But if you are a family, I would think if you're a family and you're wanting to be involved in this, now would be the time to do it, not wait until the building is made. Get in on the ground floor, be a part of it, help to raise funds, help to be a part of what's happening, and be on one of those committees. I would think that that would be the thing to do.
Wonderful. Yes.
And okay. Well, I think that this is absolutely remarkable. And I, you know, I did not know about it. So I'm thanking both of you and thanking Nancy for bringing it to our attention. But as Nancy said in the beginning, we've got a couple of more minutes here. You do so much, Cathy. Like, it's just so inspirational. It's dizzying how much you do. And it sounds like everything that you have done is culminated in this project. Is that part of how you got here?
You know, that's a great way of putting it. I love that. And thank you. And I love my work. I mean, it doesn't feel like work. It's my passion, and the people I've met along the way, including the two of you, is so meaningful, and it's my life. This is my life. It's such a part of defining who I am. And, you know, I think when I first started in this industry, because of seeing a need when our kids were early diagnosed and starting out their school years, that's when Education Spectrum was born, because these amazing people and opportunities just needed to come together. And that's been a wonderful thing. And then coming to the teenage years, when I start thinking about what are they going to do vocationally or for work, or, you know, post high school, that's when Danny's Farm was born, for our son Danny's, you know, tremendous affinity for animals. And so now we have this petting farm where there are, you know, dozens of adults with a variety of differences that come and they volunteer or they work, or, I mean, it's just beautiful. It's, you know, animals and people, you know, come on. It doesn't get any more beautiful. And then when I got to that kind of those transition years, that's when I started consulting with Etta, and we built a program called Transitions, and then some subsequent programs in partnerships with some community colleges, because I like, what I would like to really get your arms around and explain this need is that the kids from the 90s, the early 90s, are who need all these things now, and there's not enough. And that was when, you know, the incidence of autism was it went from, you know, 1 in 5,000, 1 in 10 to 1 in 5 during the 90s. So it was this, you know, relatively rare developmental disorder. And then it became like, huh, what's happening, and why is this happening? And then it's just, you know, it's just gone like this. So today it's 1 in 54. And back then it was, you know, 1 in 5 or 10,000. And now we have all these adults emerging. Just think 5 years down the road and 10 years down. And just, I mean, it is unbelievable when you really stop to think about how the need for housing, the need for supports, just because you turn 18 or 22 when you exit high school doesn't mean you need any less services. You know, it's not something you outgrow. So I'm just so passionate about adult services, and then having a chance to serve on the County Commission on Disabilities. I mean, talk about an amazing group of people. And I just love it. I just get really thrilled and goosebumps, you know, when I think about it.
Well, I'd love to know more. Yeah, go ahead, Nancy.
Tell us a little bit more about your role on the Los Angeles County Commission on Disabilities and what you do there.
Thank you. Well, as you all know, there's lots of disabilities, right? We've got people in wheelchairs, and people with hearing and vision, and, you know, all kinds of more physical disabilities. So Steve Miller, my predecessor on the commission, had just started a ad hoc committee for the developmentally disabled population, and I co-chair that with Jack, another commissioner. And so we made our priorities employment and housing. So what's been really enlightening and interesting, and I just have so much hope with working with the county is that everybody, they want to do the right thing. I mean, I feel like the heart is there, the willingness is there. They're just, everybody's so separate, you know. It's like, oh, regional center, that's over there, and county does mental health, and that's over there. And, you know, we've been working, you know, and advocating to get specific carve outs for our population. And, you know, we're making progress. And also with employment, I mean, please get in touch with me with any program that is looking to place people in employment. They have an amazing program where they're modifying the exam to get in, and you can get coaching on your application. And there's wonderful opportunities. The county is the largest employer in Southern California. So we're busy meeting people, uniting people, pulling people together so that everybody's not in their own little silo, and we come together and problem solve. So that's what's going on in the county, and it's been really embraced. It's very exciting.
That's thrilling.
I think I probably used the word exciting like 5 times already, and I'm so excited.
I'm good with it. I'm good. Because it is exciting to hear those things. I always like to say that, you know, it's so thrilling when you find out that a whole group of people are working on something and you didn't even know about it. Because it's like, oh, well, maybe there's even going on, right? And you go, there's hope that better minds are working on, because you know that every single parent that is watching this program has at some point worried and said, I don't know if my child's ever going to be able to work, and what's going to happen to my child when I'm not here anymore. Like, right? Isn't that the thing that everybody's awake at 3:30 in the morning thinking about that? And to know that amazing people like you and people that you know are working on it, Cathy, you've been the pioneer whose snowshoes we've all been following for years. And to know that you are still up to all this good, it's just so, it is exciting. Exciting is the right word. So I'm good with the use of the word. People are writing in and saying you're a rock star. I agree with that wholeheartedly.
That's probably my husband.
It isn't, unless he's changed his name. And people may not know who your husband is. Do you want to say who your husband is?
Well, today is a very special day. We're in Philadelphia because my husband, Jim Gott, whom I met over 30 years ago when he was pitching for the Dodgers, is now the bullpen coach for the Phillies. And it's opening day here in Philly.
How exciting.
It's for us, it's bigger than an anniversary. You know, it's opening day. And this is the first time in our marriage that we're not at a ballpark with a club that Jim is a part of and together, because there are no wives or, you know, any spectators at all at the field. So it's weird, it's odd, but you know, we're going to come together for the greater good and bring baseball and minimize risk. I go out as little as possible. So we're all just kind of, they go to the ballpark, come home, and everybody wants to stay healthy. So
that's amazing.
Does that mean you're going to be living in Philly?
We stay, yes. We've been here, this is our 3rd year, but we come home during the off season, but during the season we're here in Philly. And what a great city this is. And they have so many amazing programs here for autism that I've gotten to know, and great people, and oh, what a wonderful, wonderful city. The team is lovely, people, the ownership, everything. I mean, the Phillies, I'm so proud to be in the Philly family. It's great.
Now you and Jim have 2 sons on the spectrum. Can you talk a little bit about them and what they're up to?
Sure. Well, Jim's son, CJ, lived with us in the very early years of our marriage, the first kind of six years, I think. And so he was diagnosed when he was living with us and started, you know, all kinds of interventions and programs. But CJ went back to live with his mom, and has lived with his mom and still lives with his mom in rural Pittsburgh, kind of well, I don't know, it's about an hour outside of Pittsburgh. And CJ is just lovely, just a sweetheart, and he's got, you know, variety of activities and programs, which I'm sure, like everybody else, everything's on hold. But he's happy, he's healthy, and that's CJ. Then Danny is, and CJ's 31, and Danny's turning, I cannot believe it, 27 next month. And he works at Danny's farm, which of course now we're doing all kinds of virtual activities, by the way. So if we have so many sponsors that have sponsored programs, we'd love to do more virtual petting farm field trips for our people. So get the word out that we'd love that. We're doing a lot of virtual classes, instruction about animal, just whatever the community needs, we're able to utilize the farm animals remotely. So that's been fun. So Danny's great, CJ's great. There's 4 other children in the clan, and so we have a big family. We have 2 grandkids and 1 on the way, and life is good, really good.
Wow, you do not look old enough to have grandchildren, so there you go.
Yeah.
Well, remarkable. And so when you're in Philly, then your Danny is here because he stays here and works at Danny's farm.
Yeah, Dan used to come quite a bit and visit, but I'll tell you, and I'm proud of all of our kids are being really careful. And Danny doesn't want to get on a plane. I mean, you know, when they shut down spring training, we went home to LA and we got 2.5 months with Danny and Danny's sibling Nick. So that was really special. And then we just, you know, we're all doing our thing. So yeah.
So again, you know, if people want to know more about any of the things that we've been talking about, but most specifically about the village, I probably should go through those websites again, and I don't know what I've done with them. Hang on one second. No, they're not there. I'll find them. I put them away, and I don't know what I did.
I can call them up, Shannon.
Can you? I don't. I have so many windows open, and I don't know where I've put them.
Right. The website is www.thecornerstonevillage.org, and then you can email info@thecornerstonevillage.org. You can also go to Facebook for The Village by Cornerstone, and Instagram, The Cornerstone Village. So and thecornerstonevillage.org is the website.
Okay, but if they want to know more about Etta or about Danny's farm, is there a Cathy Gott website where it's all at, or do we go to each individual thing?
You know, there isn't, but I think what I'll do is I'll put it in the comments.
Okay, great. That'd be fabulous.
And I'll just send you some links, and then you can put it all together at some point. So that would be great.
Thank you so much for taking the time to be with us, especially on opening day. I didn't even think about that when we asked you about
this. This is just a great day. I mean, this is my world, and I get to share it with you today. It's so special. And of course, Jim was just bouncing off the walls this morning. Couldn't wait to get to the yard. So
that's awesome. Well, you are a light for us, and thank you so much for all that you do, because it's so inspirational for all of us, and you've paved the way for so many of us. So thank you so much, Cathy.
Thank you. Cathy. Thank you for doing what you do and helping spread all this great stuff. So very appreciative.
Have a wonderful opening day. Our best to Jim. And
thank you.
Okay. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye. Hey, thanks for watching Autism Live. To subscribe, click here. And if you'd like to check out some more of our videos, click here.